Sister Wives' real reason Kody Brown turned his back on kids. What is the real reason that Kody Brown turned his back on his children? The Sister Wives star has made up a handful of excuses as to why he and his children are estranged. Yet none of them are valid or seem to really make sense. So, is there a deeper meaning? Keep reading for more details. What's the real reason Kody Brown turned his back on kids? When Sister Wives first began, Kody Brown was a very active father to his 13 children. They all lived under one roof, and that may have played a part in his involvement. His OG 3 wives had their separate spaces, and he would rotate between them, and then Robin Brown came into the family. She initially lived 5 hours away, so Kody would visit her on weekends. Then she moved closer to the family, but never in the polygamist home that Mary Brown, Janelle Brown, and Cristin Brown Woolley lived in with their kids. They all moved to Las Vegas, and each wife had their own home, but Kody soon favored Robin, which everyone could see. He was spending more time at her home with her children, and things were becoming distant. The family then decided to move to Arizona, which not everyone was on board with. They had land there, but their homes were spread apart, so the already crumbling family fell to pieces. Then the pandemic hit, and Kody was adamant everyone follow his lead or stay out of his way. That was when Janelle and Cristin withdrew, and the latter left the family. They chose their children and self-respect over Kody Brown. The kids separated from Kody as well, but he blamed his exes, saying they were feeding the children lies. He also claimed his kids were rude to Robin and needed to apologize. However, fans have another theory as to why Kody turned on his kids and shared it via Reddit. They believe it all has to do with his disdain for his ex-wives, and it's a grudge he cannot let go of. The OG3 are the culprit. Kody Brown has blamed everyone for him and his children falling out. He has said that his daughter, Maddie Brownbrush, is a gossip. Plus, his ex-wife, Cristin Brown Woolley, is chirping in their ears, but the kids have said he needs to be held accountable. A fan flat out thinks that he is so angry with the OG3 that it is the reason why he won't reconcile with his kids. Kody turned his back. If he didn't want to turn his back on his kids, he would not have. Whether he was Robin's best customer or not, if I love your kids, nothing comes in between. He resents his kids because of their mothers, he has disdain for the ex-wives, and that is why he turned his back. He lives a half hour away from Janelle Brown, yet he had not been to her home in 2 years. It had been noted that he was so close to Janelle and her daughter, Savannah, but barely saw her. Maybe he took her out to dinner every few weeks. Janelle even said she would text him to ask Coyote Pass questions, and he would not answer her. So if he avoided his wives, he was also avoiding the kids, which is very sad. The Brown family, once the poster family for polygamy on Sister Wives, has unraveled in the public eye. At the center of the chaos is Kody Brown, the once charismatic patriarch whose relationships with many of his 18 children now hang by a thread. While fans have speculated endlessly about what caused Kody's apparent estrangement from his kids, the truth might be more complex than it seems. Kody Brown has often been criticized for favoring certain wives and their children while neglecting others. As the fractures within the Brown family became undeniable, viewers began noticing Kody's emotional distance, particularly from his older children. Was it merely favoritism, or was there something deeper? To understand Kody's actions, we must dive into the heart of the Brown family's dysfunction. The early years. A picture of unity. When Sister Wives premiered, the Browns painted an idyllic picture of a large, loving family. Kody's relationships with his kids seemed genuine, if sometimes strained by the logistics of juggling multiple households. Back then, Kody was a father who beamed with pride as he discussed his children's accomplishments. But cracks began to show early on. Kody's relationship with Cristin's older kids, especially Peyton, Aspen, and Mykelti, often appeared strained. While Cristin was stretched thin as the primary caregiver, Kody's efforts seemed half-hearted. His preference for Robin and her children became more evident as time passed. The turning point. Robin's arrival. Many fans point to Robin's entrance into the family as the moment things began to change. Marrying Robin introduced a new dynamic, one where Kody's attention shifted almost entirely to her and her children. His decision to adopt Robin's 3 kids from her previous marriage further alienated his biological children, who felt that their father was prioritizing Robin's family over his existing brood. Kody's older children, particularly those from Cristin and Janelle, reportedly felt abandoned. Garrison and Gabe, Janelle's sons, were especially vocal about their father's absence during pivotal moments in their lives. In one memorable Sister Wives episode, Gabe tearfully recounted how Kody forgot his birthday during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic only exacerbated these issues. Kody's strict rules drove a wedge between him and his children as he enforced them unevenly across the households. Robin and her kids were portrayed as the safe family, while others, particularly Janelle and her children, were painted as reckless for questioning his mandates. Kody's struggle with control. For Kody, control has always been central to his identity. He thrived on being the head of a sprawling family, a role that brought him respect within the polygamist community. But as his children grew older and began to form their own opinions, Kody found it harder to maintain authority. This loss of control may explain why Kody has distanced himself from some of his kids. His older children, now adults, are less likely to seek his approval or abide by his wishes. Instead of adapting to his children's growing independence, Kody appears to have taken their autonomy as a personal rejection. Cristin's departure. A family divided. Cristin's decision to leave Kody was another devastating blow to the family dynamic. Cristin has always been a fiercely devoted mother, often stepping into a nurturing role for all the Brown children. When she left Kody, it wasn't just a marriage ending, it was the departure of the family's emotional glue. Cristin's departure forced many of her children to choose sides. Most sided with their mother, further alienating Kody. Kody, in turn, seemed unwilling to make amends, blaming Cristin for the fractured relationships. The role of ego, Kody's ego, has often been his Achilles heel. In his mind, his role as the family patriarch should have guaranteed loyalty and respect. But his children saw things differently. Many of them, particularly the older ones, grew frustrated with his self-centered behavior and apparent favoritism. Madison, one of Janelle's daughters, has spoken about how she felt overlooked by her father. Meanwhile, Cristin's children have alluded to feeling like second-class citizens compared to Robin's kids. These sentiments likely bruised Kody's ego, prompting him to pull back rather than confront the criticism. The impact on the kids. For the Brown children, Kody's emotional absence has left lasting scars. Garrison and Gabe's strained relationship with their father is just one example. Sybil, another of Cristin's children, has also opened up about feeling neglected, particularly during her scoliosis surgery. Kody's refusal to be by her side during such a critical moment deepened the divide. Even Robin's children, who have often been portrayed as Kody's favorites, haven't been spared. As tensions within the family escalated, they too have felt the impact of a fractured household. What drives Kody's behavior? The real reason Kody Brown has turned his back on many of his kids may boil down to a combination of factors: his need for control, his bruised ego, and his inability to balance the complexities of polygamy in a modern context. Kody's approach to fatherhood appears rooted in outdated notions of respect and authority, which don't resonate with his independent-minded children. Can the damage be repaired? The question now is whether Kody can repair his relationships with his children. While some, like Logan and Aspen, have distanced themselves quietly, others, like Gabe and Garrison, seem to hold out hope for reconciliation. Kody would need to acknowledge his mistakes and make genuine efforts to reconnect. This would require setting aside his pride and prioritizing his children over his own insecurities. A new chapter for the Browns. As Sister Wives continues to chronicle the family's ups and downs, one thing is clear: the Brown family is at a crossroads. Whether Kody chooses to step up as a father or continue down his current path will ultimately shape the future of his relationships with his children. For now, the kids are finding their own way, often with the support of their mothers. Cristin, Janelle, and even Mary have stepped in to fill the void left by Kody's absence. And while the wounds may run deep, the resilience of the Brown children offers hope that healing is possible, even if their father isn't the one leading the way.